Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today is very exciting as we are going to swap out those boring rotors for these much more stylish and sportier rotors. Alright, now there's really nothing wrong with those rotors. They are plain, they do their job, you know, who wants that? This looks much more exciting. I think this will bring the bike a little bit more livelier. I was hesitant to do the wheel stickers on the wheels, but after installing it, it actually brings the bike, it makes it more sporty, it makes it more lively compared to having nothing on the wheel. So in order to also complete the look, I also decided to print my own little label here with Brembo on there, even though they're not real Brembos. I don't even know if they even make Brembos for this style of bike, but anywho, enough about that. So let's get started on installing this brake rotor and bringing the bike a little bit more sportier looking. And also, besides the front one, we are going to do the back one as well. To start it with the front one, as I believe that's going to take a little bit more time on actually lifting up the wheel. So we do need to remove the headlight, but prior to doing the headlight, you want to make sure you get a towel. So, and the reason is for the towel is because you don't want to scuff up the front fairing. So I'm just going to put a towel there. So that's going to protect that part. Now we do need something to protect the front lens, unless you don't really care about your lens. And if you happen to have some foam or whatever, as you can see, I do have some tape on this foam or whatnot, so just kind of tape it here. See, that's what you want to do. You want to make sure you tape the sides and kind of just protect the lens, so protect it from any scratches. Next, you're going to get a 10mm socket, and we're going to remove 4 bolts, one here on the top, one there on the bottom, and same thing on the other side, top and bottom. So let's go ahead and remove all 4 of those bolts, and then we're going to kind of have the headlight hanging, but I'll show you some remedies to kind of keep it from actually pulling on the cables. Alright, so for the front, we are going to have to jack up the rear because the front is going to be a teeter-totter because of the center part. So we do need some stability. So I do have my Pitbull stands for the back. And if you haven't seen that video yet, I suggest you guys go check that video out on how to attach some swing arm spools for the rear. So you're able to, you know, do stuff like this where you could actually, you know, lift up the back end and work on your e-vader. So let's get that on there. Alright, now we're over at the front. And let's go ahead and get this headlight off. We're going to have it off to the side. Obviously, we already have the protected foam on the bottom. I am going to put another piece to kind of hold it, make sure that it really doesn't go anywhere. So it's just like a little small bungee cord. And what we're going to do is we're going to attach it here on the inside, a little hole right here. So just find a little spot there. Grab it, and maybe we'll just attach it to the top part or whatnot here of the handlebars. Alright, so there it is. It's hanging off to the side now. I just had to like move a little bit the metal part to get it to stick really good. Alright, so now that that part is already set, now is going to be the tricky part on getting the pin or whatnot into the spot over here. I have to kind of move some of this cable because there is cabling there. I'm going to try to do my best on showing you guys. So let me go ahead and move it over to this side. Alright, so right there. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab our front stand. And what we're going to do, what I'm going to do, is since I don't know, I did order the pin that actually goes with that front Pitbull stand. I cannot find it anywhere. Since I moved here, I kind of just left it alone and didn't really pay attention to put everything all together. I know it's somewhere, I just can't find it in time for this video. So what I'm going to use is going to be a 12mm deep socket for this, because it does fit into the center here, which is right over here. Where is it? Oh, right there. It fits in there perfectly, maybe just a little bit of play, but it does fit in that spot really perfectly, and it also fits in front stand. So let's get to it and actually getting it on there. You want to have your stand in the up position so you can have this facing forward. Now there is a hole here in the handle, and that's exactly where this is going to go. But do not put this in before you get it in there. We're going to put all that in the back. But right now, that's why we need the front towel, so we don't scuff up the thing even though it has a rubber handle. Alright, so try to position this as far as you can on the inside. And once you get it there, let's say about out there. Now let me show you what it looks like over here on the inside. Try to get as deep as possible, and you can see here is the hole right here. Alright, so now that we got to that part in, now we're going to go ahead and grab our deep socket, put it in, and then we are going to line it up and at the same time you want to be pushing down on the stand. All right, think about there. As you can see, it is in there and it's already making contact right about there. All right, so I already got it kind of here. You want to make sure that you are straight to the handlebars, making sure everything is looking good there. And here we go. Just gonna go ahead and do it slowly and making sure that everything is looking good. You may want to hold on to the bike, or maybe have somebody, you know, hold the bike while you do this. All right, there we go. All right, I think it sounded pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and check the back to make sure everything in the back is looking good as well. It's on there. I'm gonna give it a little shake. I do have the kickstand down just in case, but it is pretty high up off the ground. And as of right now, it is looking pretty good. And it feels pretty secure in there. All right, so now we got our bike up in the air. Now next what we're going to do is we are going to start removing the bolts to get the wheel off. So the bolts that we're going to be removing, which is going to be this socket here. So let me let you know what size socket that you're going to need. All right, you're going to need a 17mm socket for this side, and then on this side you're going to need a 14mm socket on that side. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use an impact gun for this particular side and my hand ratcheting tool for the other side. As you can see, I already got my tool here. This 14mm. I'm going to go ahead and put my hand on that side. There we go. There we go on that side. I'm going to put this to loosen. Nope, that's to tighten. Alright, so we'll go ahead and loosen this up. Alright, there we go. And at this point, if you don't want the wheel to fall, I would suggest putting something underneath it to, you know, kind of hold the wheel. So when you do remove the whole axle nut or the whole axle part, the wheel will just fall on that and not on the floor. I'm going to go ahead and find something. You guys do the same. Alright, then next you want to get your hammer. I don't exactly know where my hammer is, but I'm just going to use this. It has a rubber piece on it, so it doesn't really damage the axle rod or whatnot. So go ahead and tap it out. Okay, get that thing that's tapped out as much as I can get it. And use something else to tap it the rest of the way. Alright, as far as that thing will go. Now I just need something else to get it to even the rest of the way. Let's see if I can get it the rest of the way. There we go. Alright, now mind you that there are spacers by the wheel, as you can see right there. So note that to make sure that you put those in prior to putting your whole axle nut bolt back in. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move everything out now. I do got my thing at the bottom to kind of support the wheel as I remove the whole rod. Okay, and make sure that you note that well, if you're sitting on the bike, the left side is going to be the longer spacer and on the right side is going to be the shorter spacer. So remember that when putting this back on. Okay, let's kind of slide the wheel out. I'm just going to put the spacers down right how as I got them. Okay. At this point I'm going to go ahead and lower down my thing because it is an adjustable one where I can lower it. A little adjustment nut. Alright, there we go. Okay, should roll out. I'm going to go ahead and put this one off to the side as well. Alright, so now we have our wheel out. Now let's get this off to the side. Okay, next what we're going to do is we are going to remove the 4 bolts holding the brake rotor, and that's going to be with a 6mm Allen key. As you can see, I have it attached with my ratchet here. In order to do this, you may want to lift it up here on the side. So give it some support, hold on to it, and then, you know, go ahead and remove the screws. So go there. Okay. And as you can see, they came off fairly simple, not that much really power to actually remove them. So, okay, just a little bit. And on this one, there we go. Alright, so while I go ahead and remove that, you guys do the same on removing your screws as well. Okay, pretty much almost done with taking this bolt out. And I'm really surprised that they actually use thread lock. Not many Chinese manufacturers actually use thread lock. And there we go, rotor is off. Here it is, just a standard type of rotor. All right, well, out with the old and in with the new. But before we do that, since I do have the rotor off, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little clean. I wanna make sure that the new rotor is gonna go on something nice and fresh and clean. If you really don't care for that, don't clean it. Just go ahead and put the new rotor on. All right, now let's get the fresh new rotor on. Now, to make sure that you put it in the right way, there are gonna be some lettering on the face of the rotor. Make sure that sticks out away from you, because on the other side there is no lettering, and that's the part you want to face down into the rotor. All right, so let's get that on there now, and already it is looking so good. All right, really no need to put any much more thread lock, because they both still have a pretty good amount of thread lock on there. You can go ahead and just screw them in hand tight for now, and when we do that, we're just gonna, when we do tighten everything down, we're not gonna tighten one all the way down and then don't do that. We're gonna tighten it a little bit, and we're just gonna, you know, go every other bolt and tightening it completely down. So again, once you have it, tighten it all the way. After that, once you don't have it, can't tighten them up anymore, we're gonna tighten down one just snug, and then we're gonna go to the next one, and then we're gonna go to the next one, and just so on and so forth. That way it's an even tension on all sides of the front rotor. Alrighty guys, we are almost there. I already kind of hand tighten everything down. I'll go ahead and just give it a little bit of a snug on each bolt. It doesn't have to be too insane on it. Tight enough on all of them. Alright, we are all set and done with the wheel, and already it changes the look so much. It looks so much better, so much more sportier on the wheel. Now, if you guys want comparison to see if this rotor is any different from the original as far as diameter size, anyway, let me go ahead and let me put this down. And if I were to put it right here, it is pretty much exactly the same diameter. Actually, let me put it with the bolts still lined up here. And it is pretty much the same diameter, as you can see. And even if I were to have the camera, you know, facing down like that, you can see that none of the other rotor is even sticking out from this one. So you don't have to really worry about doing any type of caliper modification for this, because I did do a video on my R3 a long time ago where the rotor was bigger than stock. Therefore, you needed to do a caliper modification to get it to fit. With this one, exact same size, just a lot cooler. All right, so now that we got that on there, now next thing before we actually, you know, put it onto the bike, let's go get a clean paper towel, and I would say some isopropyl alcohol to kind of clean the surface of this, because there might be some oils on here. We definitely don't want those oils to transfer onto our brake pads and not allowing us to stop properly. So let's go ahead and clean that up and then get this back on the bike. All right, so here is the alcohol that I'm using. This one is a 91% isopropyl alcohol, but you really don't need to have a, you could even go down to 70% as long as it's some type of alcohol. Our paper towel is going to go ahead and just wipe the face off. You don't have to really scrub anything, even though my paper's already falling apart. Got that part. Make sure you guys get the other end or the other side of the rotor as well. Okay, and that's pretty much it. That's all you got to really do. All right, now that this part is all nice and clean and free of any dirt and debris, okay, now we are all set to get this thing back on the bike. Prior to getting our long rod in place, I'm surprised there is no grease, but we're gonna grease this thing up because we want a nice smooth rolling wheel. So this is fairly a long rod, and what I'm gonna be using is going to be a white lithium grease. Let me see if I can focus for you guys. You guys can see it. A white lithium grease. I'll have a link for all the stuff I'm using down below, so you guys could get the same. So I'm just gonna pretty much put a nice long bead all the way down. Maybe a second one over here. All right, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and just smother it all along the rod, minus the threads. You don't want to get it on the threads. And if you happen to get it on the threads, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. You can wipe it off with a paper towel. So all I'm doing is just smothering the grease all along the rod to make sure that it's nicely lubricated. So when we have our wheel on there, it's not rubbing on metal to metal, creating friction, possibly noise down the road, squeaky noise, because it has happened to me before. So hopefully by doing this, we will eliminate all that altogether. So now that that's all lubricated, I'm going with my fingers. All right, let's get this rod to the other side, over here. All right, there we go. Okay, all right, so now let's go ahead and get our wheel back in position. Let me get my little trusty thing over here. Also, maybe it'd be a good idea to also maybe put some lithium grease on the spacers or whatnot, because they do make in contact with the wheel as well. Alrighty guys, already got the wheel up here, but also when putting the wheel back in, you want to make sure that you get your rotor right in line with the brake pads. It's going to be kind of hard to see the brake pads from here. As you can see, it's right about there. So you want to make sure that this goes right inside there. So you may want to do that before you do anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's going to be kind of hard to do that with the camera in front of me. So I'm going to go ahead and put the camera on the side as I go ahead and wiggle this thing back in place. I may just have the camera rolling so you guys could see me doing it live. It's been kind of hard also to position here on myself, but I'm going to kind of get this in there. And then once you kind of get it in there, then everything will kind of fall into place as far as lining everything up. So I'll go ahead and turn my little adjustment wheel deal. You might find it a little bit difficult, maybe because the tightness of, oh, there we go. Okay, so you just kind of have to like find your way. So I got it up, don't want to get it out again. All right, so now that I got it on there, now I'm gonna go ahead and pretty much just jack up my little wheel holder stand. Also made by Pitbull as well. So this is kind of like a lifesaver when, you know, doing any type of wheel jobs here, because it does, you know, eliminate you having to hold the whole wheel up while, you know, putting it back. So let's say probably about there. All right, so as you can see, I already got these already greased up with the white lithium grease. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that guy back in there, possible. There we go. Okay, now that one's in there, I'll go ahead and get this one on there too as well. Might be a little difficult. Maybe I should have put this in there so we can get in there. So it doesn't, there we go. All right, there we go. Everything's going in good and smooth. All right, it was a little difficult, but not too insane. Now I'm gonna try to get up here while pressing on my lithium grease to squirt all that out. Okay, and now I'm gonna go ahead and grab our rod from the other end and slide it in. And if you notice that the wheel is too low, just go ahead and use your thing to kind of get it right up to par. Everything is looking good. All right, next we're gonna get our nut and go ahead and put this on there. Let me see something about this nut. No, I mean, if it's up to you if you guys want to put a little bit of a blue Loctite on here, but I don't think it's really necessary. So it does have like some like kind of locking ring on the other end. All right, that's that. Okay, now that that's on there, I'm gonna go ahead and undo my little wheel deal here. Okay, I'm gonna kind of give the wheel a little bit of a spin. So far it's sounding good. It's just that the brake pad's just a little bit touching on there, but that's okay. It could be that the thickness of this might be just a hair bigger. Other than that, it's actually rolling really smooth. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this down. Put this on there. Okay, and then we want to grab our socket for the other side. Okay, hold that down while we tighten it up with this side. If you guys don't have an impact gun like I'm using, you could go ahead and use a torque wrench or just a regular socket set. There's really good. All right, everything's looking good there. All right, now that we got everything already set there, now we could go ahead and actually lower down our bike from that. Now before we do that, let's get our towel in there. Okay, we want to make sure that we protect that front fender fairing. Side to side. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and lower it. You want to make sure that you lower it down very carefully. You don't want to just drop the bike down. I'm going to go ahead and hold that top part and carefully lower it down. You guys want to do the same. Okay, now that the front wheel is already on the ground, I'll go ahead and get my hand back there and also hold on to that piece as that part drops down. Take the piece out, grab this part, and gently get it out of the way. Alright, so I'll say that will be a full success on there. Get that to the side over here. Alright, so now we can actually go ahead and put our front end back together. Gonna go ahead and grab the bungee cords out of here, and then get the headlight back in place, and then put the bolts back in its place as well. So you guys do the same. Make sure that you line up everything there. Get this thing covered as well. Alrighty guys, so that's going to pretty much conclude the video. I wanted to make sure that these videos were kind of short. I was going to put both of the front and the back together, but then I decided to just keep everything separated, which was a better choice. For all the products that I used for this video, like the rotor, the stands and everything, just look underneath this video and you're going to see what we call a description box. Now click on the information box, I would say. When you click on down there, let's say show more or something like that, you'll see a drop down section where it's going to show you the parts. You know, there'll be links for the products. So you click on the link for the rotor, the stands, all that stuff, it'll be down there. So don't forget to check that out. All right, so that's going to be pretty much, like I said, conclude the video. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button. If you didn't like it, smash the dislike button. Let me know down below of what you disliked about the video to help me improve for a future one. Also, while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you guys are up to date with my latest videos. And also, while you're down there, you're going to see a join button. If you join my YouTube channel, there's going to be 4 options. The first one will allow you to post comments. Well, you could post comments no matter if you're a regular subscriber, but your comment will be posted to the top. The second one option on my membership is going to allow you to view content that won't be available for regular viewers until the posted date. The third one will allow you to see more customization of the bikes, you know, of any bike that I'm working on. For the e-vader, for instance, in the third option, you're going to see a battery, hub motor, and controller for the e-vader in that section. If you're a 4th tier member, you're going to be able to see custom headlights on most of the different bikes that I work on, and that's that. All right, guys, you guys take care, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.